from artificial strength to some real strength and conditioning. We have updates on the Chris Doyle situation at Iowa. Since we recorded last week, I think it was the day he was placed on administrative leave, or the day after was the last time we had talked about this. His son announced he's transferring, because I believe he's a sophomore. He's a linebacker.
He's young. I know he's young.
Yeah. But when the kid is transferring out, the writing's on the wall.
Right.
It feels like he got the heads up. It's like, we don't want this to come on to you. You probably don't want to be in this environment. You should take this opportunity to look at other options. Because as of today, Chris Doyle has been, I almost said exterminated. Chris Doyle has been terminated.
You've been terminated.
Hold
on. No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding.
Not quite on the soundboard. But, by the University of Iowa, with the stipulation of he's getting 15 months plus benefits pay, which comes out to $1.1 million and change. Which
they use a weird term. They said a mutual split or something like that, which is like when your you get dumped by your girlfriend, but you try to play tough and be like, it was a mutual breakup. It was a mutual.
It allows
thing.
him to keep some dignity. If
Says
he's not
the guy
from this,
who's used it.
If he's not from the state of Iowa, this allows him to get a job as an assistant coach at a high school in a different state. He's probably not going to be coaching on this level again anytime soon, and that's why he gets this settlement, is because it's obvious he's not going to get hired right away, which I think was the reasoning, because otherwise I don't understand how you can't just terminate somebody for alleged racism, like contract voided. So this seems like another, I swear to God, I'm not making this party politics, but this seems like another BARDA goof when it comes to public relations.
Yeah.
Let's go to Brandon, our Hawkeye.
I mean, the $1.1 million seems a bit ridiculous. I can't believe he was actually making that much money to begin with.
Don't worry. It's still, that was my second thing.
That's
man,
the thing.
this tells you.
How is this guy making this much money?
Well, I'm going to say Iowa, maybe not on the field when it comes to AP ranking every year, but when it comes to what they do in-house and how they develop and their tradition of building people and their program, I think Iowa's a top 20 program in the nation. Iowa is 15th to 20th with what they turn out every year with the 2 to 4 stars that they get. They
consistently 8 wins. Yeah,
absolutely, with the facilities and everything. Iowa is a top 20 to 25 at the very lowest program nationally, and this just shows you the exorbitant salaries that he's not even a coordinator. He's not even a coordinator.
Why? Yeah. Why is a strength and conditioning coach making $1.1 million?
But okay, on my hierarchy of coaches that matter. Under the head coach, you have your coordinators, you have your head trainer, and the head trainer is maybe on the same tier as your strength and conditioning guy. It's very important, dude.
It is.
In a college program.
And this
is a Deuce Gruden dude.
Yeah. Every week, I swear. You try and work him in. Try to squeeze in a Deuce.
It's easy when we're talking about a strength.
It's a serious topic. We're talking about Deuce Gruden. But no, it is a valuable position. It is important. He's kind of responsible for keeping your players healthy throughout the season and in the preseason. Sure. But yeah, $1.1 million, that's a lot. And I mean, you could probably argue that because Iowa's always very physical, tough football team. And they always have, strong linemen and things like that. But I don't know.
It comes back to this is what's allocated to the program.
Well,
I use the money you get. So.
I want to go back to Brandon and see what he thinks about all this before I kind of give my thing. This is a question I ask you. Do you feel now? It's all alleged at this point. We don't have any evidence. Other than players saying that,
Well, they went to Kansas City for an independent investigation.
Right, to get that thing. But as a fan of the team, how do you feel right now? Like, with all that's gone on with Doyle?
I mean, I don't necessarily feel... I feel like they did it the right way. I mean, you got to get this guy out of here. This isn't good for anybody. So, that's the most important thing, I think, is to get this guy who's been... Obviously, something has happened. That many people don't say something if nothing's happening.
On a certain consistent level. Yeah, right.
And they're very similar stories. It's not like they're way completely different to where they could be made up. If everyone's saying pretty much the exact same thing happened to them over a 10-year period, probably happened. These guys, 30 years old. You know, they're making millions. They're not going to lie.
Yeah, you're right.
For the
They
hell
have
of it.
they have absolutely
It
no
doesn't
reason
help them at all.
to stir stuff
No.
up because especially I feel like at Iowa, these guys get loyal. You know what I mean? They really feel the family when you come out of Hawkeye football, and you see that when they meet on NFL. It feels like almost weekly during the NFL season, we'll get a picture when the Bills play the Browns of the 6 Hawkeyes on those 2 rosters that take a photo together. You know, they really do keep the loyalty. And so, yeah, there's no reason for them to make this up. There's no reason to stir the pot. And it really sucks. It really sucks all around.
Yeah. And, you know, I do think there are times in this society that we live in now where people immediately jump to conclusions and they don't have due process. And I'm not defending
It's
this.
the Twitter jury.
Right.
It's the Twitter jury is what I call it.
To me, I agree with Brandon if that many people are coming out, there's got to be something. But I'm also not the guy, you know, so I do think it's important that we understand and listen to what they're saying and also kind of evaluate. Because, you know, there's a topic of discussion that think that he was a scapegoat. Maybe there was more going on and they saw Doyle as a scapegoat and push him out. That's, you know, what the program saw. Now, I don't necessarily know if that's true, but
Nobody said anything about Kirk, you know, and
Not
that's
Kirk,
where I
but
think it's not a scapegoat.
But they do mention Brian Ferentz, his son.
Okay, are we going to get into that allegation now? Because you're right, and that is kind of worrisome that one of
Your offensive coordinator?
one of the 2 assistant coaches getting these allegations
Your heir
was
apparent?
placed on administrative leave and now fired, while the other one, the son of the coach, we're not really have. Is there an investigation into that aspect of it yet?
I'm sure there will be once they get with the Kansas City investigator.
That's a bad look, man.
Well, he's not. Well, like I accidentally interrupted you. He's the heir apparent. He's not just the offensive coordinator. He's the coach's son, and he's most likely going to take up for his dad when his dad eventually retires. And now that's all thrown into whack because of everything that's happening. And then you have to wonder if it's his son. Don't you think Kirk would know about it? If
he
there
would,
were,
because who speaks up against the coach's son until a time like this?
True.
And we're going off of the assumption that he was working at the level of Chris Doyle in these allegations, which apparently I have heard there were levels, and the level of what people said against Brian Ferentz was not to the level of what allegedly Chris Doyle was saying and doing. So we do have to give him that respect. That no matter what, it's been very clear from all involved parties that if Brian Ferentz is a negative part of this equation, he is not nearly the problem that Doyle was.
Right. Yeah. And again, as I said before, allegedly, we don't know. And I'm not going to immediately label a guy a racist or said he's said these things without evidence of it. But I also don't want to say the players are lying, because that number really doesn't make me think that they're lying, because why would they all? And of course they say it now because it's in the zeitgeist. We are talking about race relations right now. That's the main reason it happened now.
But that's people are feeling empowered. People are feeling like other people are willing to listen. So it is the time to do it. I mean, everybody should be doing it. Not just you know, people probably wouldn't necessarily listen to you as much. You know, like, things are changing all over the country. You've seen Clemson College has changed building names because people are because they're bringing it up now, because this is important. This is stuff that needed to be done years ago, decades ago, but we're talking about it now. So let's fix it, and that's how it should be all across the country.
We can't look at we didn't do in the past, you know, when we are trying to, because there are things that like 20 years, 30 years ago, Brandon, you're absolutely right. We should have taken care of this.
But
and
you
these are
can't
things
change
that, and now you're right. But now it's like, you know what? We acted like this wasn't there, and we need to actually like legalize, deregulate, you know, either end of the spectrum to make this place more equal to, you know, what NASCAR did. Shout out NASCAR. Oh my gosh, banning the Confederate flag. Rival win streak, and I'm pretty sure all of those are they all 4 years now?
At least 4.
They're 4 or 5 for the 3 games.
4 or more,
yeah. So that is the Confederacy.
You want to talk, you know, and just very quick, people want to talk about what the Confederate flag means like through Christ, whatever, doesn't matter. But then you read the succession statement made by the president of the Confederacy.
Oh,
first line.
I think
second line says this is about slavery.
Okay, I thought it
States'
was
rights to own slaves.
I thought you were going to say, I saw the quote on Twitter by the guy that developed the Confederate flag.
One final thing I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and Brandon and I were talking about this before you got here, before we went on the air. I think this sends a bad message. Now, I think Iowa was right to get rid of him, and I understand how contracts work, and they had to pay the guy because of legal obligations, the contract, whatever. But what does this say to your players if you're saying, hey, please go risk your health to play football with possibly no fans, and please do that during a pandemic for free? But this guy that was allegedly racist and said horrible things, he gets to walk away from this with $1.1 million.
I think it's going to be interesting to see if when the Hawkeyes take a knee or stand at attention as a team, is Brian up in the booth when the team's making a statement as a team? I think that's going to be an interesting, maybe something that the team doesn't think about, but the media will definitely latch on to. If this is, where's the Brian investigation? And then we get to the season and he's up in the booth and the team is making a demonstration.
Well, that would be interesting because he's been down on the field for the last couple of seasons.
He's
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Okay, see, I just have the, when he got caught, like, cursing in the booth and all of the journalists and the radio people were like, dude, you got to, like, either close your door or go down to the field.
Why
Yeah,
do you
he's
think...
been down on the field at least all of last year he was. I think more than that.
At least half that time, they're not covering their mouth because of plays. They're covering it because they're swearing. Most of the time.
Bruce Arians is never calling a play. He's just saying, go bleep, pick something.
Yeah. That's the funny thing about the XFL. You never really heard coaches swear as much because they knew better.
Because they knew. Yeah, no, I did really enjoy, first tangent.
No, we've already done it. We've already done the NASCAR thing.
The LA Dragons offensive coordinator, Chow, the
LA Wildcats, yeah.
Wildcats, thank you. Yeah, that would say the play in 2 segments twice. 38 razor, block right. Okay, let's do it on 2.
I'll never forget that when Josh Johnson was like, "You guys need to shut up because I can't call the plays."
All right. Well,
Yeah.
it's a dark time as of this week for Hawkeye football, but they really have an opportunity to be a team that is a guiding light this fall. As we made it through this, we're making a statement as a team, and I wanna kind of pull this segment together with a tweet I saw from Tyler Kluver. I might have the former player wrong, but he does a podcast. I think it was Tyler Kluver that had a tweet saying, "Nobody's perfect. Coach Doyle helped me become a man during my 4 years in Iowa City. I don't know what happened, but I hope the best for him and hope we get the truth." And that's kind of that's the other side of the players where it's like, well, this sucks. Hope it works out for the program. So we hope it works out for the program. I don't see this becoming any type of NCAA investigation or not citation. What's the word I want to use here? Punishment, sanction.
Sanctions, that's it, yeah.
sanction. Yeah, I don't see it getting to that level. I think that the NCAA has way too much juggling basketball stuff right now that we're going to get into.